Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to my beloved panels. My name is Muhammad Farhan bin Luqman from code S43. Today, I would like to share about an interesting topics of my findings, which is comparison between running distance and motivation factors among Malaysian runners. Before we go into deeper, I would like to explain a bit about what is long distance running. According to Goodsell al. and Thompson 2017, long distance running is defined as races which their distance can be from 5 kilometers and can go up to ultra marathon distance. Running has become a very popular sport in Malaysia, where people embark in running not only in competition but also as their lifestyles. Why is it important to study about the motivation factors is because not only long distance running but every sport requires one factor, which is motivation. Motivation is what drives the individuals to further perform in that specific sport. Again, long distance running requires a long period running and also requires a very strong mental for the athletes to sustain longer during the race. Of the reasons of why I have decided to come up with this topic is because, according to Hansen al. 2015, runners frequently ask what motivates them, what drives them to train for months, what drives them to sustain long in a 42 km, in a 21 km. So I've decided to find out these answers among Malaysian runners. Bear in mind, where every individual that performs a sport or any other activities, they need to have motivation and also a specific goals. Because why? If an individual performs a sport or activity without any motivation that drives them to do it, they will encounter with one problem, which is frustration. When frustration and lack of persistence is affected by an individual, they will have ill-being instead of well-being, according to Garner et al. 2013. So, in order to really know in depth of why these runners decided to run, we will use a scale that can measure the motivation of a runner, which is called motivation in marathon scale, MOMS, which will be discussed further in chapter 3. So what can MOMS describe? MOMS can describe in details of the individual's motivation according to the race that is selected by the runners. Therefore, there are two objectives of this research. The first one is to identify the motivational patterns among Malaysian runners competing at various distances. The second objective is to make comparison between running distance, which are 5, 10, 21k and 42k, and the motivation factors behind this distance. Again, the purpose of the study is to determine each individual's motivation on why they choose to participate in long distance running. In my opinion, it plays an important role for coach to study this in depth for their runners is because they need to understand the difference of individuals' motivation, where they can prepare a specific training program and more accurate according to their runners' motivations and goals. Other than that, why this is important is because coach can provide a more accurate mental imagery training. Mental imagery is where you imagine that you will do that specific moment. In this case, for running, you can imagine of I will run for 5k kilometers, I will use a proper technique, I will exercise more, and that is how the runners do their imagery training. So by studying in details about this motivation, is very important for not only running coaches but also fitness professionals. Literature review will help to understand in depth of the common terms that are used in long-distance running research. Long-distance running requires the runners to run continuously at a given distance. Every running individuals, they are differentiated with different period of training, the way they engage in the run, and also how they control their motivation inside them. According to basic psychological needs, there are 3 psychological needs that a human has, which are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. First one, autonomy. What is autonomy? Autonomy, it refers to an individual's feeling of choosing an activities, enjoying the engagement, and believing in it, according to Beauty in 2009. The second one is competence. Competence is where the individuals feel the effectiveness when interacting with the environment and engaging in optimally challenging tasks. So for individuals who are more dominant to competence, they will feel the need to beat someone, to beat their personal record. In other words, they like to challenge their time, they like to challenge themselves from time to time. This is according to Hutemi et al. 2019. And the last one is relatedness. Relatedness is defined as the need of an individual to connect with people surrounding them. They like to be more social. They do an activity dominantly because they like to engage with other people, with other humans. This is also according to Hutemi et al. 2019. These are the other terms that focus on types of motivation. Now, allow me to explain in detail about the research design. This research design is considered as survey because the form of questions is distributed among to a lot of various running groups. Motivation data will be collected using the scale which is called Motivation of Marathoner Scale through Google Form. Again, the aim of this research is to investigate the relationship between variation of running distance and the motivational patterns that motivates the runners to run a long distance. Sampling is divided into 3: who, how, and how many. For who am I targeting to specifically? It is male and female aged 18 and above and has participated in any kinds of distance, which are 5K, 10K, 21K, and 42K. And how I am measuring this distance is where this distance is in the past of 2 years. The second one is how. How am I doing this sampling? Is through convenience sampling, where a few samples will be collected from various population through Malaysian running groups. And how many? I have surveyed the number of participants inside running group. In average, inside a running group, there will be above 100K runners, 100K active participants. However, according to Table, Craigie and Morgan, I only need 444 samples for this survey. There are inclusion and also exclusion, where inclusion means factors that needs to be included inside this research. The first one is individuals who have participated in a long distance running events. Second one is aged 18 years and above. And the last one, participant must be free from any types of injury. Second one is exclusion. Exclusion is the factors that are not included inside this research. The first one is aged 18 years and below. And the second one is ultra marathon runners. Now we move on to the number of sample. The total population inside each of the running groups is a total of 100k and above. With that, according to table Craigie and Morgan, the optimum number of samples will be 384. But a 20% of dropout will be added into the calculation, which results in the total of 461 respondents that will be collected. The instrumentation that will be used in this research is called Motivation on Marathoner Scales, MOMS. MOMS consists of 56 questions, where inside MOMS, it contains a lot of possibilities on why runners choose to run, such as I run because I want to be more physically fit. I run because I want to preserve a healthier heart. I run because of trophies. And I run because I want to beat my own personal record. With this instrumentation, the MOMS can help us to identify what are the motivation factors that motivates the runners to run according to various distance. However, this research will use a modified MOMS which contains only 21 questions. The data collection procedures are as follows. First, we will apply for ethic approval. Next, before going to the actual test, we will run a pilot test to identify the reliability of the research of the questionnaire. Third, we will distribute the survey to various running groups inside WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. Fourth, when we get the data, the questionnaire will be collected. And lastly, the data will be interpreted. As I mentioned before, pilot study is carried out before the actual data collection. According to the pilot study results, it contains the crunch bar alphas of 0.874, which is considered as acceptable. The respondents comes from various types of ages. A total number of 470 volunteered in this study. The mean for this one is 2.30 and the standard deviation of 0.794. According to result, we can see that the majority of the respondents is aged from 30 to 39. Why? Because the group where the questionnaire is distributed contains a lot more of middle-aged from 30 to 39 with a passion of long distance running. Normality test is run to identify either the data is normal or not. According to the results, majority of the items have a value of significance below 0.05, where according to Shapiro-Wilk, when the significant difference is below 0.05, it indicates that the data is non-normal. When we identify that the data is non-normal, we will proceed to using Kruskal-Wallis to run the data. The motivation on marathoner scales MOMS has 4 big major factors, which are physical, psychological, achievement, and also social. According to results, we can see that for achievement and also physical has a significant difference of above 0.05. This indicates that the achievement and physical has a big significant difference among running distance. For social and also psychological, the significance is below 0.05, where when compared with the 4 running distance, it has not much of significant difference. Now we can take a look at the graph. Firstly, we can see for social, the results indicates that 21 kilometers runner likes to be socialized when joining the marathon. This indicates that the 21k runners joins the running distance is because they may have a group or they may have a best friends that also join the same distance. So this what motivates them to join in 21 kilometers of running distance. The second one is achievement. According to the results, we can see that 42K has the most values for achievement. This is because majority of the runners who participated in the 42km runners, they want to achieve their best timing. They want to beat others. They want to beat others in terms of how fast and how long they can complete the distance. And this is why in aside achievement, the 42K has a lot of values compared to other running distance. The third one is psychological. According to the results, 5K and 42K has the highest value for psychological. When we talk about 42km runners, they need to have a strong mindset and also strong psychology that they will finish this race no matter what. And the last one is physical. According to the results, the distribution of physical among all the running distance is very significant. All running distance, either 5, 10, 21 and 42km, they will have the reason of joining it because they want to have a healthier physical. Now, I would like to proceed with the discussion. Achievement factors are less common when it comes to shorter distance. Majority of the runners who decided to join 5km is because they want to enhance their physical. They want to have a healthier heart. They want to have a healthier body. Second one, every distances an individual join indicates the need for physical sustain. As I mentioned before this, runners who participated in the 4 distances, they will have at least one reasons relating to physical. The third one, when it comes to 42km, psychological factors will be the main factors. Last but not least, according to the analysis, when it comes to 5km runners, they are most motivated by physical motives.